Exodus 7:12. For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents, but Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods. The 10 plagues of Egypt are one of the most fascinating and terrifying events in human history, a powerful display of faith and divine retribution that left an entire nation in ruins. For centuries, these plagues have captivated people's imagination, and their significance extends far beyond ancient history, speaking to the enduring power of faith and the consequences of ignoring the divine. For years, the Israelites had been suffering under Pharaoh's rule, forced into slavery and subjected to brutal treatment. They were a people crying out for freedom, and their pleas did not go unnoticed. God had seen their suffering and decided to intervene, sending Moses to demand their release. But Pharaoh was not willing to let them go, and that's when God unleashed his fury upon Egypt. The plagues that followed were a series of disasters that shook the very foundations of Egyptian society. Exodus chapter 7 verse 14 for 24:14 And the Lord said unto Moses, Pharaoh's heart is hardened, he refuseth to let the people go. 15 Get thee unto Pharaoh in the morning, lo, he goeth out unto the water, and thou shalt stand by the river's brink against he come. And the rod which was turned to a serpent shalt thou take in thine hand. 16 And thou shalt say unto him, The Lord God of the Hebrews hath sent me unto thee, saying, Let my people go, that they may serve me in the wilderness. And, behold, hitherto thou wouldest not hear. 17 Thus saith the Lord, In this thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Behold, I will smite with the rod that is in mine hand upon the waters which are in the river, and they shall be turned to blood. 18 And the fish that is in the river shall die, and the river shall stink. And the Egyptians shall loathe to drink of the water of the river. 19 And the Lord spake unto Moses, Say unto Aaron, Take thy rod, and stretch out thine hand upon the waters of Egypt, upon their streams, upon their rivers, and upon their ponds, and upon all their pools of water, that they may become blood, and that there may be blood throughout all the land of Egypt, both in vessels of wood, and in vessels of stone. 20 And Moses and Aaron did so, as the Lord commanded, and he lifted up the rod, and smote the waters that were in the river, in the sight of Pharaoh, and in the sight of his servants, and all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood. 21 And the fish that was in the river died, and the river stank, and the Egyptians could not drink of the water of the river, and there was blood throughout all the land of Egypt. 22 And the magicians of Egypt did so with their enchantments, and Pharaoh's heart was hardened, neither did he hearken unto them, as the Lord had said. 23 And Pharaoh turned and went into his house, neither did he set his heart to this also. 24 And all the Egyptians digged round about the river for water to drink, for they could not drink of the water of the river. The Israelites' plight was a desperate one, with their lives marked by endless labor and hardship. They were a people without a homeland, forced to build cities and harvest crops for their Egyptian overlords. Their situation seemed hopeless, but their faith in God remained strong. As they cried out for deliverance, God began to weave a plan to free them from their bondage. Pharaoh's refusal to release the Israelites was not just a matter of stubbornness, it was a declaration of war against God himself. The Egyptians had long considered Pharaoh a living god, and his rejection of God's demands was a direct challenge to the divine. This set the stage for the 10 plagues, a series of cataclysms that would shake Egypt to its core. Exodus chapter 8-1 for 15:1 And the Lord spake unto Moses, Go unto Pharaoh, and say unto him, Thus saith the Lord, Let my people go, that they may serve me. 2 And if thou refuse to let them go, behold, I will smite all thy borders with frogs. 3 And the river shall bring forth frogs abundantly, which shall go up and come into thine house, and into thy bedchamber, and upon thy bed, and into the house of thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thine ovens, and into thy kneading troughs. 4 And the frogs shall come up both on thee, and upon thy people, and upon all thy servants. 5 And the Lord spake unto Moses, Say unto Aaron, Stretch forth thine hand with thy rod over the streams, over the rivers, and over the ponds, and cause frogs to come up upon the land of Egypt. 6 And Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs came up, and covered the land of Egypt. 7 And the magicians did so with their enchantments, and brought up frogs upon the land of Egypt. 8 Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron, and said, Entreat the Lord, that he may take away the frogs from me, and from my people, And I will let the people go, that they may do sacrifice unto the Lord.
9 And Moses said unto Pharaoh, Glory over me. When shall I entreat for thee, and for thy servants, and for thy people, to destroy the frogs from thee and thy houses, that they may remain in the river only? 10 And he said, Tomorrow. And he said, Be it according to thy word, that thou mayest know that there is none like unto the Lord our God. 11 And the frogs shall depart from thee, and from thy houses, and from thy servants, and from thy people, they shall remain in the river only. 12 And Moses and Aaron went out from Pharaoh. And Moses cried unto the Lord because of the frogs which he had brought against Pharaoh. 13 And the Lord did according to the word of Moses, and the frogs died out of the houses, out of the villages, and out of the fields. 14 And they gathered them together upon heaps, and the land stank. 15 But when Pharaoh saw that there was respite, he hardened his heart, and hearkened not unto them, as the Lord had said.
The 10 plagues were a series of disasters that ravaged Egypt, each one more devastating than the last. The first plague turned the Nile River into blood, killing countless fish and making the water undrinkable. The second plague brought a swarm of frogs that infested every home and land. The third plague turned the dust into lice, causing widespread discomfort and chaos. The fourth plague brought a swarm of flies that tormented the Egyptians. The fifth plague brought a deadly disease that killed thousands of Egyptian livestock, crippling their economy. The sixth plague brought boils that afflicted the Egyptians, causing them immense pain and suffering. The seventh plague unleashed a massive hailstorm that destroyed crops and homes. The eighth plague brought a swarm of locusts that devoured what was left of the crops. The ninth plague plunged Egypt into darkness, a deep and foreboding shadow that lasted for days.
Exodus chapter 8:16 for 19:16 And the Lord said unto Moses, Say unto Aaron, Stretch out thy rod, and smite the dust of the land, that it may become lice throughout all the land of Egypt. 17 And they did so, for Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod, and smote the dust of the earth, and it became lice in man, and in beast. All the dust of the land became lice throughout all the land of Egypt. 18 And the magicians did so with their enchantments to bring forth lice, but they could not. So there were lice upon man, and upon beast. 19 Then the magicians said unto Pharaoh, This is the finger of God. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord had said. As the plagues intensified, the Egyptians began to feel the weight of their suffering. They were a people in crisis, desperate for relief and unsure of how to escape the wrath of God. The final plague, the death of every firstborn son, was a devastating blow from which they could not recover. The death of the firstborn was a heart-wrenching tragedy, a painful reminder of the consequences of ignoring God's demands. It was a moment of unimaginable sorrow, as families across Egypt mourned the loss of their loved ones. This was the pivotal moment that finally broke Pharaoh's resolve, and he reluctantly agreed to release the Israelites. Exodus chapter 8:20 for 24:20 And the Lord said unto Moses, Rise up early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh. Lo, he cometh forth to the water. And say unto him, Thus saith the Lord, Let my people go, that they may serve me. 21 Else, if thou wilt not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies upon thee, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thy houses. And the houses of the Egyptians shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground whereon they are. 22 And I will sever in that day the land of Goshen, in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there. To the end thou mayest know that I am the Lord in the midst of the earth. 23 And I will put a division between my people and thy people. Tomorrow shall this sign be. 24 And the Lord did so, and there came a grievous swarm of flies into the house of Pharaoh, and into his servants' houses, and into all the land of Egypt. The land was corrupted by reason of the swarm of flies. In the end, the 10 plagues of Egypt serve as a powerful reminder of the importance of faith and the consequences of ignoring the divine. They are a story of liberation, of a people freed from bondage and given a new chance at life. The significance of the plagues extends far beyond ancient history. Exodus chapter 9-1 for 12:1 Then the Lord said unto Moses, Go in unto Pharaoh, and tell him, Thus saith the Lord God of the Hebrews, Let my people go, that they may serve me. 2 For if thou refuse to let them go, and wilt hold them still. 3 Behold, The hand of the Lord is upon thy cattle which is in the field, upon the horses, upon the asses, upon the camels, upon the oxen, and upon the sheep. There shall be a very grievous murrain. 4 And the Lord shall sever between the cattle of Israel and the cattle of Egypt. And there shall nothing die of all that is the children's of Israel. 5 And the Lord appointed a set time, saying, Tomorrow the Lord shall do this thing in the land. 6 And the Lord did that thing on the morrow, and all the cattle of Egypt died. But of the cattle of the children of Israel died not one.
7 And Pharaoh sent, and, behold, there was not one of the cattle of the Israelites dead. And the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, and he did not let the people go.
8 And the Lord said unto Moses and unto Aaron, Take to you handfuls of ashes of the furnace, and let Moses sprinkle it toward the heaven in the sight of Pharaoh.
9 And it shall become small dust in all the land of Egypt, and shall be a boil breaking forth with blains upon man, and upon beast, throughout all the land of Egypt.
10 And they took ashes of the furnace, and stood before Pharaoh, and Moses sprinkled it up toward heaven, and it became a boil breaking forth with blains upon man, and upon beast.
11 And the magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils, for the boil was upon the magicians, and upon all the Egyptians. 12 And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord had spoken unto Moses. So, what do you think? Which of the 10 plagues would be the most terrifying to experience? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're interested in learning more about biblical history, be sure to check out my other videos.